Hi folks, this is all the fruit and today I'm again foraging around Kampong Santa village near the little town of Siburan near Kuching in Malaysian Borneo. The village is situated in the hills, which is quite unusual around here. Usually the villages are in the lowland. But the good part about it that there is a road to the village, so you can use a grab, this one, like I did. I was here about a month ago and already did a long fruit hunting video. So I showed all the stuff I could see here in the gardens. I walked up to the top of the mountain, which is a walk of about a kilometer or something. And then I did a video about more or less the central part of the street here. So today I'll focus on the parts which I did not cover in my previous video. Hills are a very popular place for growing durians. So the ancestral fruit forests around here, which were planted many decades ago, sometimes even over a century ago. Most of the fruits are not usable anymore, but people still do harvest their durians. Here a big durian tree in the background, a small one to the left, a dukulangsa tree in front. When I was here a month ago, the durian season was just starting, but now it seems to be towards its end. The road seems to be new, just a couple of years old. Of course, for the environment it's not nice when jungles or ancient fruit forests are replaced with naked cliffs, but for the forager, along quite recent roadsides you can find a couple of interesting small berries for foraging. Here I see something which is not a small berry. Here, by the way, enjoy the view on the limestone cliffs of the Bau region. But here, right behind this bamboo, there is some Artocarpus, maybe Elasticus, which has a couple of fruits, but I'm not going down there now. It is more or less a vertical descent down here. See those conspicuous trees with a smooth trunk? There are two to the right, one in the low to the left, and two behind it, one left and one right of it. The one on the left, on the next little ridge, seems to be the biggest. Those are not durian trees. I don't remember the name of those, but those are the giant sting bee trees. So those trees house giant sting bee super colonies. However, we are not in the flowering season now, so no giant sting bee super colonies. The giant sting bees, they like those trees because the trunks are too smooth for bears and other animals to climb and steal their honey. This plant here is a medicinal plant. Here there are two specimens of it. I still don't know the name, but you can use it to make a healing bath from it. You cook it and then you mix the tea with the bath water. Some mango, but no more fruits. Guess it's out of season already. It's a beautiful place here. It's funny that even most people from Siburan don't know it. It's just 2-3 kilometers away from the town, and a very easy way to get into the hills. It's a road and just 10 minutes driving. It's a little bit adventurous with this narrow road here on the steep hills, but that makes it even more exciting. Here you see a wild fern, which is a staple of Borneo cuisine. You take just the upper most tender part and cook it. Oh, up there seems to be some nettle fruit I'm not familiar with, but it's a little bit too high. I must find some which are hanging lower. Those nettle fruits are edible, and there are many species. They are related to the stinging nettle. Well, I would say most are edible. This thing here does not look edible. Most are edible. They are related to the stinging nettle, but have no stingers. Wild bamboo. Those should all be some acuminata, probably monkey fingers. For the locals, they are noxious weed, almost impossible to remove from the rice paddies and other gardens. This one doesn't even have very tasty flowers. The fruits have seeds. You can eat the heart of it. You can use the leaves for some purposes, but still, for them it's still mostly a weed, but let's hope we find some ripe ones. Down in the first little valley, bamboo and sugar palm. The shoots of both species are a very tasty vegetable. Getting the bamboo shoots, it's quite easy, but getting the sugar palm is a lot of work. Here a durian tree. This area must have been a lot denser because do you see the dukulangsa trees around it? The durian tree is a huge jungle tree which grows very tall, and people don't mind because the fruits fell to the ground. The spines cushion them. As long as they don't fall on the roads, then of course they break. And so you can harvest them even after 100 or 200 years when the durian trees have become very big. However, the dukulangsa trees around them, this forest, they have also grown to gigantic proportions. Many of them are well over 20 meters tall. But you cannot reasonably harvest dukulangsa, which is a smallish juicy fruit, when it's 20 meters tall. So I think they are being left more or less out of nostalgia and because they are not really interfering too much with the durians. Those here are no wild bananas. They were certainly planted. Always know your wild bananas from your planted bananas, folks. Not many people will object if you sample some wild banana, but if you start stealing from the gardens, you might get in trouble. Also, from here I can see a lot of durian trees, but not a single fruit. Very different from the situation 1 month ago when the season was starting. Beautiful slopes, beautiful hills, beautiful trees, but not a single durian fruit on those trees. Wait a moment, this is another species of nettle tree I'm not familiar with. Oops. Look at those very conspicuous fruits. I'm sure they will be edible when ripe. And look at the flower. Look at the flowers here. Beautiful. But not a single ripe fruit to taste. Those stinging nettle relatives, they're basically all edible, but I've never seen anything of that shape. Interesting. I was filming a species video right here, and then I noticed that all the time I was just 20-30 centimeters away from this giant spider. The legs, they stretch like what, 5 inches maybe, 12-13 centimeters. The body is also a couple centimeters. Very conspicuous spiders. From time to time I've run into their nets. Oh, here is a small one, by the way. From time to time I've run into their nets. They've never attacked me, but still, they can always be a first time. Beneath this nettle tree, there is another tree with small white berries. I think I might have tried those ones and they were not tasty, so I'll stay away from them for today. Here I'm standing right in front of one of those giant stingbee trees. They're illegal to cut down, so wherever the jungle was cut down, those trees were left standing alone because of the importance of the bees for pollination and also for honey production. Also around here they eat the larvae. Look at the size of this tree compared to the electricity pole. Yeah, very smooth stem, so the bear cannot climb up. The giant honeycombs, the bees right now, they are nomadic, they are like traveling around, and when the season comes, the giant honeycombs are hanging from those branches. Sometimes the honeycombs can be up to 2 square meters a piece, and sometimes such a tree can get you 2 tons. I guess 2 tons is the absolute extreme. My friend Ringus, a bee hunter from a nearby village, told me that usually he gets like 1 bottle, like 1 liter or 2 liters when he goes bee hunting, maybe in his area. The super colonies are much smaller. Here a lot more. I've never seen those giant stingbee trees growing clusters, but here I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then here 10. And maybe before the road was built there were more. Usually they are growing solitarily. I'm happy to see a whole population here. And I'm happy that they are protected. Also, I'm happy to finally see a durian tree hanging full of big and tasty fruits. See them here? Nice big durians, good size. I'm not going down that slope now, but if I find one here very close to the road, I might snag it. Nope, nothing that close to the road. But I'm not going further down here. There are gonna be more durians further down the road. Giant bamboo, a very common vegetable around here, but I don't see any sprouts ready to harvest. You can also eat them raw. I could cut off one now and start munching on it. Tiny creeks running down the cliffs all the time. Basically the water from those is drinkable, however... Oh, wait. There was some bigger animal there shaking a palm leaf. The water from those is drinkable, but I know that there are more orchards and durian groves up there. And people do harvest this stuff now, and people do pee and poop, so better don't drink water which has gone through a lot of gardens, because you might get a lot of parasites. If this was just jungle above without gardens, no problem at all. Well, probably no problem. Met the durian collector. Here a lot more of the giant stingbee trees. Yeah, this must be a stand of over a dozen of those things. I've never seen anything like this before. Maybe because they just left the biggest one standing, who knows. And now let's determine what those bananas are. It is a garden. I know it because I walked through it or climbed through it a month ago. But even back then I wasn't sure if those bananas are cultivars or some hybrid with the wild ones. I remember this tree down there was flowering a month ago, and it still is. However, I'm still not sure if the tree is flowering or the vines that are growing on it. Here one of the traditional bamboo bridges with a nice dragonfly sitting on it. Yeah, to be careful with those. They are usually built for people a bit smaller than me. Not just a durian hut, but basically a little farm here in the hills. Nice, nice. And not just durian. Oh, look at that. Was this already here a month ago? There is one honeycomb on this giant stingbee tree. See? This one should be one of the, more or less average size. I think it's maybe 60 to 80 centimeters across. It could be bigger because I'm very far away from it, but basically often those trees have a dozen or more of those combs. And here the farm, tropical asparagus, chilies. I don't know what those small things here on the terraces are. A papaya, bananas, the sugar palm. Oh yeah, and there is something leaning on the sugar palm. That means they are not planning to use this sugar palm for vegetable, but they're gonna use the sugar. You can tap it for the sap. This is actually the origin of the name. You tap it, you get sugar syrup out of it, and then you can make either red sugar from the sugar syrup, or you can make alcoholic drinks. Yeah, since this palm is standing in the middle of the farm, and since there is some sort of tree trunk leaning against the palm as a sort of makeshift ladder, I'm sure that they want to harvest the sugar and not the heart of the palm. Wow, see this loop-sided durian tree? This giant branches growing like 15 or more meters above, well, in the direction of the road, and it's loaded with huge fruits. Pretty sure some of them must have landed in those shrubs and have not been recovered yet. Don't know what this vine with those interesting stems is. We are here in the most biodiverse biome in the world, but still, mostly you see the same plants all the time, but I don't remember seeing that vine too often. Look at this ingenious construction. Basically you only need 2 pieces of bamboo to make it. One piece you put across the stream, the other one you lean on the first piece and put it on the rock into the stream. Here they've done it twice. So they have 2 water sprouts, they've also used a couple supports. But basically the basic construction is just from 2 pieces of bamboo, and you already don't have to get the water off the rock, but can basically put yourself under this shower and have a nice, cold, refreshing, well, shower. Yeah, the road is constantly being improved, and the road building crew still remembers me. Probably the only wild white man who has ever walked this road, and even the locals don't usually walk. Nice to meet old friends. Hi old friend, how are you? Don't you want to fall and provide me with a nice meal? During the 1 month I was away, those little trails here up the rocky slope have been trodden countless times. Most of those durians still had fruits a month ago, and now they are gone. Contrary to popular belief, beautiful flowers are not ubiquitous everywhere in the jungle at any time. So I'm always happy when I see some. The kepayang trees also seem to have dropped all fruits. Kepayang fruit basically looks like a durian without spines. It's toxic, but after detoxification you can eat most parts. Actually eat the fruit out of hand, but you shouldn't overdo it. It's mildly toxic. Some quite sizable bananas here. Monkey fingers, very thin. Also not the tastiest ones. Also growing on a quite precarious slope. Also here is the saw blade grass. Oh, I love this one. I don't even know the Latin name. I gave it the name saw blade grass. Hey, don't cause any accidents. Okay, now I'm gonna get those bananas. Okay. Come on, go down. Come on, lower. Okay, got them low enough. Pick them monkey fingers bananas. Are very thin. That's why they are called monkey fingers. Also, the taste is not the greatest wild banana. They soften and often they are being infected with jumping worms. Smells like banana, full of seeds. Not bad. Tastes like a slightly sour Cavendish, full of very rough seeds. Those bananas are not monkey fingers. They have carefully been placed at a good distance from one another. Somebody wants to harvest fruits here. The ones behind them are wild monkey fingers bananas. So always know the difference or you'll get in trouble. Squirrels. One already went behind the tree, but the other one is running up the tree. Here they are. They are considered the biggest pest around here. They eat the durian. Well, they make holes into the durian to get the seeds. They eat the cocoa and also pretty much every other fruit. And they are being shot and eaten all the time by the durian farmers. Down there, a so-called durian collector or durian merchant, is sitting with his van, almost 3/4 full already. It's not work for every farmer to go to the market just for a couple durians, so they sell them to him, and then he went to the market and sells them for a higher price so that everybody can make a living, but not everybody has to do the quite long journey to the next city. Mentavak tree, an incredibly tasty artocarpus where the arils are orange, bright orange, one of the brightest orange you find in any fruit in the world. So I found something in his truck which I would call tembaga, those 5 fruits here, of which I bought one for quite a good price. They say it's yellow inside, it has those long curvy spines, but they don't use the IBAN named tembaga, so maybe here those yellow durians are just not being known under a specific name. So let's see if my durian is good. Oh, not so easy to open. That's not such a good sign. Usually when they're fully ripe, they're easy to open. Let's see. They also said that around here there are a couple trees of ghost durians or other durian species, but they say they have no fruits at all. Okay, let's see. Yep, that's a good one. Well, while I was eating my durian, a poor durian farmer came with 2 smallish durians, so the guy gave him 2 tightly folded up ringgit, so that the stupid white man doesn't realize that he pays 1 ringgit per fruit and sells them for 8 ringgit. Well, the stupid white man still got a durian tembaga for quite a decent price. So the stupid white man is not too unhappy this time. Let's see, here another durian farmer is waiting for the fruit to fall, always with a little fire. The fire is there for the smoke against the mosquitoes. Ay boss, buah ada? Tiada. Oh, belum. Hah? Jerman. Ada di sini pokok durian hantu? Ada. Buah ada? Buah ada? Oh, tidak ada. Yeah, terima kasih. So they confirmed the same thing the vendors told me. There are jungle durian trees, but they have no fruits right now. Also, the vendors told me something that there is a durian tembaga tree nearby, but no fruits. But then when they sold me those tembaga durians, they said they are just normal durians. Well, I'm happy. Got to eat area durian today, so it's fine. Let's see what else we're gonna find. Oh yeah, my old nemesis, bridges, and this is an old and cracked one. Haha. Okay, last time when I did not film myself crossing a bamboo bridge, it collapsed under my weight. Oh fuck, no. 2 of those things are already gone. See this? 2 of those bamboo stems are already broken. The parapet is incredibly old and also was made from a not yet fully developed bamboo stem. That's gonna be fun. See? This one is cracked, this one does nothing. This one is also cracked, so only 2 bamboos are supporting me. I made it. There is still the way back. Seems like the season is more or less over. See those durian huts? This one has already been dismantled. This one has been dismantled, and we just haven't picked up the tarp yet. A lot of Artocarpus, most probably elasticus fruits, splattered here on the ground. This is the inside of the fruit. This is the entire fruit. If I find one that has fallen recently, I could eat it. But those are all too far gone. Look, this beautiful, huge butterfly on this fruit here. And now it's gone. Here a young durian tree. Basically they grow from seeds, so whenever you want this one to develop, which could be a good idea because the other durian trees are a little bit further away, they will just chop away all the competing vegetation around it. Another kepayang tree. Seems like they like their kepayang around here. Let's see what else we can find. Despite this forest looking incredibly majestic, it's not an original rainforest. It's basically an ancestral fruit forest. Somebody planted those durians probably 100 years ago or so, and now their descendants are harvesting them. This is a huge tree in the background which is not a durian, and here another one. They must be useful, otherwise they would have been cut away. What are those huge fruits on the ground? They're soft. Seeds are on the inside. I have no idea what this is, folks. Please write me what this is, but please also write the exact time when I'm showing it, because later when you just comment a random name, I have no idea what you're talking about. There are several of those here. Seem to have a smooth skin. Don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. Some cucurbitaceae, but then there should be conspicuous vines around. No idea. Oh, and there the small durian tree still has fruits. So there's a good chance somebody is sitting underneath it. That's how they make their hammocks. 2 bamboos and standard tissue, I guess, what is it, 120 liter sack, or maybe it's a 50 liter sack. Well, anyway, I tried this. It's better than lying on the cold ground, but for me the size of those things a little bit too small. But again, season seems to be over. The hut is dismantled. Only the stuff they don't want to take home is still here. There hasn't been fire here for at least a week. Where was the durian tree with all the fruits? Should be this one, but I don't see a single fruit. What about this one here? Quite interesting. Hi everybody! Buah ada? Tiada? Ini tidak baik. Ada di sini durian hantu?
Ya, tidak tahu.
Tidak ada? Okay. What a pity. Yeah, it plans to come here during the height of the durian season. It never happened, and now it's over faster than I can think. Also, it's a little bit sad to see all those people. Well, on one side it's good that they still do some sort of jungle agriculture or traditional agriculture, but for me it's a little bit sad to see all those people. They sit under a tree their grandfather planted, and they wait for the fruits to drop, and they carry them 200 meters to the next van and sell them. It's kind of a bit sad. Here, a cocoa tree. All the fruits have been savaged by squirrels. And here, a kepayang tree. Couple young fruits, a couple young kepayang fruits hanging on the higher branches, if you can see them. No kepayang fruit splattered on the ground, unfortunately. I didn't really plan this today, or I would have come with other shoes and also with a parang. Actually wanted to go somewhere completely different today, but okay, here I am now. First up the hill, planning to stay on the road, and now in the deep, dense, beautiful vegetation. Here you can see they decided that this durian tree This little durian tree is here to stay. Marked it with 2 sticks, and now a couple times a year they'll remove the surrounding vegetation. Oh, here somebody has been working really hard to clear all the undergrowth to not to miss a single durian. However, I'm afraid that a lot of the durians got impaled on those sharp bamboos here. And here is already the new bamboo shoot, which is totally edible at this stage. This looks gruesome, especially when you know that those things are sharp as knives and much harder than wood. He chopped them off like 1 meter above ground. Don't fall here, folks. You're gonna be impaled. Here somebody is working a lot more diligently. They have a chainsaw, and I'm sure they also regularly use a weed whacker. 2 grannies trying to sell me some quite big durian for 10 ringgit a piece. In Kuching, I can get them for 2 to 3 ringgit a piece, especially at 7 Mile Market. Strange. Guess they're coming from other places, no? But still, the price here is so high. It's amazing. Well, the price for stupid white man is so high, of course. More or less lost. Just not a good idea when you come unprepared to the forest. Well, over there, or maybe over there was the chainsaw. Well, I'm hearing some noise from there. So let's see if I'll manage to squeeze through the vegetation, or if I'm gonna get bogged down among the giant bamboos. Ah, come on, man. Well, the spider webs mean that nobody has been here today. However, I noticed that I'm actually very close to the road. Let's see what we can snag on the other side. Champeducks lying on the ground. If they are lying on the ground, there is a good chance they are not good. There is a tree saying full of them. One of the older traditional varieties which were considered to be wild, but as far as I remember, genetic studies showed that they are not so different from the bigger modern varieties, so probably just older selections. The Geneva Convention has banned punji sticks, but it seems this hasn't transpired to the local farmers yet. Where to now? Some are tocarpos, with fruits which look very similar, but are just a fraction of the size. There are a lot of artocarpo species with fruits which look exactly like this. I decided they've given up on identifying them. Funny, somebody is coming to the jungle and bringing industrial coal to burn. This is the standard shape of what they sell here. It's probably so filled with tar and other nice things that you really want your food to be cooked on this when you have a whole jungle of wood to choose from. Mangosteen, and they are ripe. Wow, look at that. Oh, this one is almost ripe. Delicious. Just bought a kilo of them on the market, but those here are so much better. However, I'm almost at the road. If I take a stick and start harvesting them, it might turn out they are somebody's property. So I'm only taking what I can reach from the ground. Around here, by the way, Amorphophallus, the biggest flower, the biggest bloom in the world. Those are quite small specimens, probably of Amorphophallus cognac. There is a bigger one that's been chopped down. Those can produce giant flowers. Continuing along the main road, beautiful little road with huge durian and duku langsat trees. Here you can see the langsat. Fruits are so high, basically nobody will be so crazy to go up them and take them. Wait a moment, I thought this was mangosteen, but it's a different, it is a different tree definitely. This is a Diospyros. This is a kaki relative. Question is it edible? Looks a lot like chocolate fruit. Blah, it smells like chemistry. Blah, not even like rotten, but it smells like ink. Well, I guess you could use it as ink. Here is another one. Wow, what is this? Oh. Not much taste. Look at all those mangosteen on the ground, folks. But this one is a little bit too high. Harga satu buah di Jerman, satu manggis berapa? Ini.
Tidak pakai kilo lah.
Nah, sebiji. Oh. Berapa sebiji di Jerman? Oh, tidak baik. Buah ini di Jerman 5 ringgit, 10 ringgit, sebiji. Sebiji ya. So while I was sitting there, I saw the merchant buy 8 quite good sized durians for 15 ringgit, and he wanted to sell me one of the same size for 10 ringgit. I paid him 8 ringgit for the tembaga because it's something rare, even though he doesn't know it. But it's quite a nice margin he's making there. That's why now I'm gonna lurk for some durian farmer with a tambok, and I'll buy directly from the source. If I'm really lucky, I might even find the farmer who has the tembaga tree. Here we have one of the most beautiful and iconic fruits of Borneo, Bacaurea angulata. They call it belimbing merah, or the red star fruit. Let's see, there is not, oh well, there is one on the ground. Oh no, it's completely rotten already. I have to catch it from the right side with the sun. They are not completely ripe, so they are not bright red yet. They are reddish brownish, but already very beautiful. Again, the tree is a little bit too tall, but I guess here they would still climb it and get some of the fruits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motorbikes, 6 motorbikes, and on 20 meters there must be a lot of durian around here. Follow the trail. Don't even want to steal their durian, but I also don't want to pay almost triple the price. Those old grannies, they also wanted 10 ringgit from me. If they had said 5, they would have made a good profit. I would not have to carry the durian back through the jungle. Oh, speaking of the grannies, here they are. Okay, going back. Don't want their 10 ringgit durian. Oh, speaking of the grannies, here they are. Okay, going back. Don't want their 10 ringgit durian. Now look at this crazy flower. From here it looks like this, but when I flip it, it looks like that. Almost at the end of the durian groves, here Damocles trees. This one's still having some leaves, while this one seems dead. Those fruits which are sticking out of here are not from the same tree which has the leaves, and the round hairy fruits. Those are Damocles fruits because they are the size and shape of swords and they hang over your head like the sword of Damocles. They're edible, by the way. The ground is covered with tiny jungle figs and more are falling every second. Ah yes, there are birds in the tree. 1, 2, 3, several birds of different species gathered here because of those tasty little fig berries. Well, rivers are the roads of the jungle, and streams are the little footpaths. As you can see, there is a lot less vegetation here than to the left or to the right. Walking through the cool water is so refreshing. However, it doesn't seem that too many people are walking through the cool water because otherwise they would have simply chopped those bamboos. Okay, I have to leave my little stream. Continue here. Again, under the giant bamboo. Ah, hello old friend. Old time no see. It's called meandering. Here is the stream behind me, and here is the same stream in front of me. Those grannies with their tidy lawn, they are pursuing me. I'm sure they are moving their plot from place to place so that I always end up next to them. Interesting why the riverbed is not being used more. It's much more comfortable on those overgrown trails. So far up in a small river there shouldn't be any crocodiles. And even if they were, the locals don't really care too much. Why is this durian oozing red? Strange. Oh my, to get over or under or across all this in some way. Just wanted to make another video precariously crossing the river, but I got saved because there is a very interesting tree here in the riverbed. Just left the riverbed from here without looking either for the tree or for the bridge. Now I'm back down here, and let's check what this is. It's a cauliflower tree. Fruits are growing on the stem. I think they are some type of very unusual figs. Why? Well, I'm filming those fruits. The fishies are having a party on my feet. That's a free fish spa. Look at that. They are munching on my feet, but will they just be eating the dead skin? Or will they eat me to the bone like piranhas? What do you think, folks? Are Borneo fish spas beneficial for your health? Or can they lead to ossification? I guess all trails lead to the durian merchant. I think everybody has already agreed that I'm a commercial durian thief. Never mind that I have neither basket nor motorbike or even a truck, but I'm around the durian a little bit too often. Another tree which is definitely too big to being harvested is this rambutan tree. However, the leaves look kind of strange. They don't look like typical rambutan leaves. Could this be some rare rambutan relative? Let me see if I can find the fruit on the ground. As far as I can see from this rotten fruit, they totally look like normal rambutan. More kipayang fruits over there. Haven't eaten them for ages. I want one. So after hard bargaining with some durian growers here. I did not buy their durian. And here under this tree, this tree here, there was something like Artocarpus hypergureus or Artocarpus dada. We still couldn't agree what it is, but I guess it's out of season now. Oh, and of course I got myself into the biggest mud. Strange, they are selling good durians to the durian vendor for 3 a piece and telling me that 3 is a good price. But when a white man shows up, I guess the usual price is 10. Well, we are not the usual white men, are we? And yes, I know those people are a lot poorer than me, but still, I don't like being scammed. A lot of langsat which is not completely ripe yet. Nice. Well, the rest of the trip is under the scorching sun, mostly. Should be a jackfruit tree. What is this? I hope it's, oh yeah, it is a tropical cherry. Here, an unripe fruit. However, I guess there are so many birds here. Oh, lots of unripe fruits, but no really ripe ones. A big kedundong tree. Usually they keep them very small for easy harvest. This one they'll have to do a lot of climbing. Coconut. This I think is the Dabai or Borneo olive. However, I see no olives on it. Yeah, it's a Dabai tree. Very valuable fruit. And not far from it, an Encala or Borneo avocado. But this Encala has no fruits either. Around here a very different type of garden. Oh, this is a... no, at first I thought it was a munzeng, but it was just a cat staying low, looking almost like a ferret, hunting something. Shut up, I'm filming the cat. Okay, he distracted the cat. Mangosteen trees, a lot of ornamentals also, and a lot of dogs. Still durian gardens here and there, and those old durian gardens are always filled with squirrels. It hid behind the stem. Are always filled with dukulangsat and mangosteen. Over there's some really huge giant bamboo, over 25 meters tall. Terong pipit, the tiny pea eggplant. It's actually quite tasty when it's cooked. The durian season should be over in the lowlands here. This one is still hanging kind of full. However, all the other trees around it, oh no, this one also has a couple ones. Well, maybe we are still close enough to the hills so that there is still good durian around. The lowlands, the guy said there shouldn't be any more. Here somebody doesn't like squirrels on their durian trees. And here in front of me, those big palm trees are sago palms. Can get over a ton of starch out of the stem of one such sago palm. The fruits are edible. The heart of palm is edible, but doesn't seem to be too tasty. Coconut or sugar palm or Oigensonia are much tastier. Around here, people rarely make starch anymore. They usually cut down the trees, then let them rot for the sago worms to live in them, and then they eat the sago worms. Look on this huge mango tree, how small the motorbike under the trees, and even when this big truck drives under it, it's still being dwarfed by this old mango tree. Should be well over 100 years old, and I'm not even sure about the species. Entering the outskirts of the town, a soursop tree. Here a small fruit. Somewhere further up, I saw a couple bigger ones. Maniok, here it is grown mostly for the leaves, not so much for the tubers. The leaves are also edible. Lemongrass, water apple, and even a couple ripe fruits here. And I guess this should be a pumpkin. Here we have the most iconic Borneo vegetable, The sour eggplant. Yes, it's an eggplant, and yes, it is sour, and yes, they love it a lot. And it's not my favorite eggplant, but I like it also. Pineapples and the papaya, small bitter gourds, and oh yeah, here are the pumpkins. Here is a pumpkin, a bottle gourd, and a rare ripe snake gourd. You always see them on the market when they are still green, so this is quite a rare occasion. A moringa tree, good for purifying water. Papaya, which is not a tree. More pea eggplant, more pea eggplant. A coconut. Here somebody has just leaned the manioc stems against the fence, and they are sprouting new leaves. Sugar cane here on this side, and pisang tandok, the giant bull's horn banana. However, this seems to be the smaller variety because it has too many fruits for the giant variety. Here again, a small, probably wild bitter gourd, and here the even smaller Guadeloupe cucumbers. Here is one fruit. Wax gourds growing on a fence. Actually, the wax shows you that they are ripe, and then you can remove the wax and still eat the gourd. It's quite watery, more or less like a cucumber. You can eat the gourd and also use the wax for candles or other things. That's a more typical kedundong tree here, really low, growing together with the lychee. Here some lime trees in front of them, and behind them this should be pulazan, a relative of rambutan, but I don't see a single fruit to confirm this. And this here should be a longan, but again, with, oh yeah, teeny tiny fruits. It just finished flowering. Oh no, it did not finish flowering. Here it's still flowering. Here you already see the small fruits. Passion fruit, maracuya. This is the standard passion fruit we also get in our supermarkets. Here the flower and here the fruits. A guava tree. Asians like to wrap fruits in plastic or in paper to preserve them from bruising and from animals. They also do this with fruits that we have in Europe, like apples and pears and plums. And here some cucurbitaceae, which I cannot identify. Oh, it's a rich gourd. Here quite a small specimen. A mulberry tree. Those have become very popular recently, so the country is full with those tiny trees with super tasty mulberries. But the oldest one I ever saw was less than 10 centimeters thick. I guess there are things that don't change wherever you are in the world. The ice cream truck. It might not be a truck, but it's gonna play music. One pepper plant. Pepper used to be the main cash crop around here, but around here people now have better cash crops in the Iban Hills around Lubo Antu. Pepper is still the main cash crop. And here a rambutan covered with nice big fruits. And that's how they usually grow the kedundong trees, under 2 meters, so that you can easily harvest them. And I'm always so amazed when I see roses growing here in equatorial lowland climate. Oh, and back then, a ripe cucumber. Ripe cucumbers are used for cooking, just like zucchini or pumpkins. They are just more watery. Avocados, more of a subtropical fruit, but they do grow here. 1, 2, 3, 4 trees. Somebody here sure likes their avocados. Here is something really amazing, a grapevine, an American fox grape, which comes basically from areas with quite harsh winters, growing here in an area with, constantly hot and humid equatorial climate. Also, every time I see those kedundong fruits on the ground, I want to cry. The locals are not gonna eat them anymore. It's a little bit too dirty here. Well, who cares for them? The fruit is worthless at this stage, but for me it's really valuable. They eat them when they are unripe, but I like to eat them when they are fully ripe. Pretty traditional wooden houses. The really traditional ones would be on stilts, but those are still probably more than 50 years old. Don't try to eat me or I stuff you into this trash can. Let's eat the spoils of our crime. Such a crazy and complicated taste. Taste of half a dozen things at once. This one is probably running to get his friends. That was a joke, dude. That was a joke. Don't get your friends. Come on, man. Gangs of street dogs everywhere. That's how you recognize a Christian town. Get lost, you little son of a, not gonna say the words, doggy mother. Never seen this tree here before. Totally looks like a willow. Is it growing? It's growing in front of a Chinese house. It could be a willow. The Chinese have imported a lot of subtropical things. Totally looks like a willow. Here we have a traditional house on stilts, and next to it, this big grass, not the one in front of the house, but next to the house should be Coix lacrimaiobi, one of the most ancient grains in the world, almost extinct, but the Bidayu people in this area are still using it for something. Castor oil plant. I wonder whether they just like the reddish leaves or whether they use it for something. It's incredibly toxic. Maybe this is the fish poison fruit. On top of this metal roof, noni, the smelliest fruit in the world. And next to this papaya, a curry leaf. Here, a subtropical to temperate pomegranate, again in front of a house with a lot of Chinese symbolics. And here another Chinese house. They have the custard apple. Annona, what is this? Squamosa. A lot of Chinese houses and a lot of subtropical trees which have been adapted to the tropical climate. Another Annona squamosa, this time the purple variety, the green variety. The last one was the purple variety. And here a Carissa carandas, also a tasty fruit shrub, but no fruits on it right now. This tree is completely engulfed in Guadeloupe cucumbers. When I wanted to have a snack, there are almost no fruits. No, I'm not going there just for 2 fruits. Another grapevine, making this place almost look like some East or North European garden, especially with this fence, because those American fox grapes, they can also be grown in much colder, wetter and worse climates than the standard European grape varieties. So the same species can grow in cold Siberia or in, let's say, in Scotland, and at the same time here in the lowland equatorial rainforest. This is an amazing plant, and I love the fruits, coincidentally. So much tropical asparagus. Samaria must love those things. Usually they have 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 plants. So they've made a nice little garden by the canalized river. Different type of water apples growing here. There are lots of different species. Most of them are not even in cultivation. But around here in the gardens you'll only find cultivated ones.